I have seen a lot in my 43 years on the bench. I have watched people lie to my face, cry crocodile tears, and try every trick in the book to escape justice. But I have never, in all my decades wearing this role, had someone point a loaded weapon at me in my own courtroom until the morning of February 13, 2025, at exactly 10:17 a.m. When Police Chief Robert Morrison walked into my courtroom and made the biggest mistake of his entire life. You think you've heard wild courtroom stories before. Trust me, you haven't seen anything yet. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to tell you is going to change the way you think about power, authority, and what happens when someone believes they're completely untouchable. This story went so viral that it made international news in 47 countries. The courtroom security footage has been viewed over 35 million times. Legal experts have analyzed every second. And the question everyone keeps asking is, how did a decorated police chief with 28 years of service end up pointing a gun at a judge in open court? Let me take you back to how this whole thing started. It was a cold Thursday morning in Providence, Rhode Island. February in New England means winter, and that morning it was 23 degrees with wind chill, making it feel like 10. My clerk handed me a file that seemed simple enough on the surface. Case number 2-02-5CV-4821, a civil complaint for excessive force during a traffic stop. The plaintiff was James Michael Patterson, age 24, a senior at Rhode Island College studying business administration. Clean record, no criminal history, not even a parking ticket beyond one citation from 2022 that he paid immediately. He lived with his grandmother, Sarah Patterson, in South Providence in a small 2-bedroom apartment on Prairie Avenue. He worked part-time at Target, 25 hours a week, while carrying a full course load. His co-workers described him as reliable and polite. His professor said he was hardworking, the kind of student who showed up to every class and turned in every assignment on time. The defendant was Officer Derek James Morrison, age 32, Providence Police Department Patrol Officer, badge number 2847, 6 years on the force, solid record up until this incident. 23 commendations for good police work, 2 letters of appreciation from citizens. He made over 400 arrests in his 6 years. His personnel file showed no complaints, no excessive force allegations, no disciplinary actions. On paper, he was a good cop, but Derek Morrison had one very significant advantage that most police officers don't have. His father was Police Chief Robert Thomas Morrison, head of the Providence Police Department for the past 5 years. Chief Morrison was 56 years old. He started with Providence PD in 1997, right out of college with a criminal justice degree from Boston University. He worked patrol for 3 years, then made detective, spent 8 years in investigations, made sergeant in 2008, lieutenant in 2012, captain in 2016, and in January 2020, he was appointed chief of police, overseeing 478 sworn officers and 142 civilian employees. By all accounts, he ran a tight ship. Crime rates had dropped 14% during his tenure. Officer morale was high. The mayor praised him regularly. He'd won multiple awards from civic organizations. But success and power can do things to people. They can make you forget that the badge is supposed to be about service, not about being special. On November 8th, 2024, at approximately 9:47 p.m., James Patterson was driving home from his shift at Target. He was exhausted. He'd worked 8 hours after attending 3 classes. He just wanted to get home, eat something, maybe study for an hour and go to bed. He was driving his 2012 Honda Civic South on Broad Street. The car was old but reliable. He'd bought it used for $4,800 2 years earlier, and he took care of it meticulously because he couldn't afford repairs. He was obeying all traffic laws, going exactly the speed limit, using turn signals, both hands on the wheel, because his grandmother had taught him to be extra careful when driving as a young black man. She'd given him the talk that so many black parents give their children. Keep your hands visible. Don't make sudden movements. Say yes, sir, and no, sir. Do everything they tell you. Don't give them any reason to escalate. At 9:47 p.m., Officer Derek Morrison, driving patrol car 847, pulled up behind James's Honda and activated his lights. Red and blue flashing in the rearview mirror. James's heart sank. He hadn't done anything wrong. He knew he hadn't. But when a cop pulls you over, you comply. You don't argue, you just do what they say and hope it goes smoothly. He pulled over immediately, put his car in park, turned off the engine, rolled down his window, put both hands on the steering wheel at 10 and 2 where they were clearly visible, exactly like his grandmother had taught him. Officer Derek Morrison approached the vehicle. According to the dash cam footage that would later be played in my courtroom, he was aggressive from the very start. His body language was hostile. His tone was confrontational. And his first words to James were not "good evening" or "license and registration, please." His first words were, "Do you know why I pulled you over, boy?" Boy. Not sir, not young man, boy. And anyone who's lived in America knows the historical weight of that word when a white police officer uses it to address a young black man. James stayed calm. He said, "No, sir, I don't." Was I speeding? His voice was polite, respectful. His license and registration were already in his hand, ready. Officer Morrison shined his flashlight directly into James's face, blinding him. He said, "Don't ask me questions, I ask the questions." License and registration. Now, James handed them over. Morrison snatched them from his hand, went back to his patrol car, ran James's information. It came back clean. No warrants, no outstanding violations, nothing. Most traffic stops end there. The officer comes back, maybe gives a warning, maybe writes a ticket, and you go on your way. 5 minutes total. But that's not what happened. Officer Morrison came back to the vehicle and said, "Step out of the car." James said, "Sir, can I ask why? Did I do something wrong?" It was a reasonable question, the kind any citizen has the right to ask. But Officer Morrison didn't see it that way. He saw it as defiance, as disrespect, as a challenge to his authority. He yanked the car door open, grabbed James by his jacket, and physically pulled him out of the vehicle. James stumbled, tried to catch his balance, put his hands up to show he wasn't a threat. "I wasn't resisting," James would later testify. "I didn't fight back. I just tried not to fall." Officer Morrison spun James around and slammed him face first against the side of the Honda hard. The impact was loud enough to be picked up clearly on the dash cam audio. You could hear James grunt in pain. You could see his head bounce off the car door. Then Officer Morrison grabbed James's arm, twisted it behind his back, and forced him down to the ground. The cold November pavement. James went down on his knees, then his stomach. Morrison put his knee on James's back between his shoulder blades and pressed down with his full body weight. "I can't breathe," James said. His voice was captured clearly on the dash cam audio. "Sir, please, I can't breathe. What did I do? Please, Just tell me what I did wrong. Officer Morrison didn't respond. He kept his knee on James's back, kept him pinned there for 4 minutes and 17 seconds. I know the exact time because the dash cam footage has a timestamp from 9 hours, 51 minutes and 33 seconds to 9 hours, 55 minutes and 50 seconds. 4 minutes and 17 seconds of a young man lying face down on freezing pavement, begging to be told what he'd done wrong, being told nothing. At 9:55, a second patrol car arrived. Officer Sarah Kim, badge number 3194, 7 years on the force. She got out and immediately asked what was going on. "What do we have, Derek?" she said. "Is he under arrest?" Officer Morrison, still with his knee on James's back, said, "Just being difficult, not following commands." Officer Kim looked at James on the ground, looked at Morrison, and said, "Derek, if he's not under arrest, why is he on the ground? Let him up." Morrison hesitated for about 5 seconds. Then he removed his knee and pulled James to his feet. James was crying, openly crying. His face was scraped from being pressed into the pavement. His jacket was torn. His hands were bleeding from where he tried to protect his face. His ribs hurt so badly he could barely breathe. Officer Kim asked James if he needed medical attention. James said he thought his ribs were hurt, that it hurt to breathe. Kim immediately called for an ambulance. James was transported to Rhode Island Hospital. X-rays showed 2 bruised ribs, significant bruising across his back, multiple facial abrasions, and the ER doctor documented signs of psychological trauma in his report. Here's the kicker. James Patterson was never charged with anything. Not resisting arrest because he wasn't under arrest. Not assaulting an officer because he never touched Officer Morrison. Not even the broken tail light that Morrison would later claim was the reason for the stop. Because when James's car was examined the next day, all the lights were functioning perfectly. There was no legitimate reason for the stop. No legitimate reason for the use of force. No legitimate reason for any of it. If you're just finding this channel, subscribe right now because this is exactly the kind of story we cover here. Justice, courage, and the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. James' grandmother, Sarah, was a fighter. She'd raised James since he was 6 years old after his parents died in a car accident. She'd worked 2 jobs to keep him fed and clothed and in school, and she was not about to let what happened to her grandson go unanswered. She found a lawyer, Maria Rodriguez from Rhode Island Legal Services. Maria took cases like this because she believed in justice, not because they paid well, but because she believed someone needed to stand up for people who couldn't afford $500 an hour lawyers. They filed a civil complaint against Officer Derek Morrison for excessive force, violation of civil rights, assault and battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. They had the dash cam video, they had the hospital records, they had James' testimony, and Officer Kim's report. It should have been straightforward. But there was a problem. Derek Morrison's father was the chief of police, and Chief Morrison was not about to let his son face consequences. The first indication came when Maria tried to take Officer Morrison's deposition. She scheduled it 3 times. All 3 times, Morrison's attorney canceled at the last minute. Scheduling conflict, client unavailable, need more time to prepare. Then Maria started getting phone calls. Not threats exactly, just suggestions. A senior partner at a big firm suggested maybe this case wasn't worth pursuing. A city councilman mentioned that making enemies of the police department could be bad for her career. Nothing direct, nothing you could prove, but the message was clear. Drop this case, walk away. Maria Rodriguez didn't drop it. She pushed forward. She filed motions. She gathered evidence. She scheduled the case for trial. And that's how we ended up in my courtroom on February 13th, 2025. When Derek Morrison walked through those courtroom doors at 10:15 a.m., I could immediately see the confidence. He wore a suit, not expensive, but clean and pressed. He looked like a man who knew he was going to win. But Derek Morrison didn't come alone. Behind him walked his father, Chief Robert Morrison. And behind the chief walked 6 uniformed Providence police officers. Chief Morrison was wearing his full dress uniform, not the standard duty uniform, but the formal dress blues reserved for ceremonies. Every medal pinned to his chest, every commendation ribbon displayed. The uniform was immaculate, pressed with military precision, the shoes polished to a mirror shine. This wasn't a father supporting his son. This was a show of force. A police chief walking into a courtroom with 6 officers as if to say, remember who you're dealing with. The 6 officers stood at the back of the courtroom in a line, arms crossed, faces neutral, a wall of blue uniforms and badges, a reminder that the police and the courts work together. I've been a judge for 43 years. I've seen intimidation attempts before. They don't work on me. James Patterson sat at the plaintiff's table with Maria Rodriguez. James was wearing a borrowed suit, too big in the shoulders, sleeves too long, but he tried. His grandmother Sarah sat in the first row, hands folded in her lap, eyes on her grandson. I called the court to order, case number 2025CV4821. James Patterson versus Derek Morrison. Are both parties ready? Maria Rodriguez stood. Ready, Your Honor. Derek Morrison's attorney, Jonathan Patton from a downtown firm, stood. Ready, Your Honor. I asked Maria to present her case. She stood and laid it out clearly. On November 8th, 2024, her client, James Patterson, was pulled over by Officer Derek Morrison for no apparent reason. The dash cam showed no traffic violation. When James asked why he was being pulled over, Morrison responded with immediate force, pulled him from the vehicle, slammed him against the car, forced him to the ground, kept him pinned for over 4 minutes, while James begged to know what he'd done wrong. Maria entered the dash cam footage into evidence. The hospital records, Officer Kim's report, everything documented. Then we watched the video. I'd reviewed it before, but seeing it again in the courtroom was even worse. You could see everything. Morrison's aggressive approach, the way he grabbed James, the sound of James's body hitting the car door, James on the ground, hands visible, not resisting, Morrison's knee on his back, James crying, please sir, I can't breathe. What did I do? When the video ended, the courtroom was silent. I looked at the 6 officers standing at the back. None were looking at the screen anymore. Some looked at the floor, some at the ceiling, anywhere, but at the evidence. I looked at James Patterson, tears on his face, his grandmother's arm around him. I looked at Derek Morrison, staring straight ahead, no expression, no remorse. I asked Officer Morrison if he wanted to explain his actions. His attorney started to stand, but Morrison waved him off, actually waved him away like swatting a fly. Morrison stood up and said, Your Honor, I effected a traffic stop because I observed what I believe to be a broken taillight. Mr. Patterson was argumentative and non-compliant. I used minimum necessary force to gain compliance and ensure officer safety. Everything I did was by the book. I've heard a lot of excuses in 43 years, but this was particularly galling because we'd all just watched the video. I said, Officer Morrison, we just watched the footage. Mr. Patterson asked why he was being pulled over. That's not argumentative. That's a citizen's right. Morrison said, Your Honor, with respect, You're not a police officer. You don't know what it's like. Split-second decisions. When a subject questions your authority, you have to establish control immediately, or the situation can escalate. Establish control by slamming a compliant citizen against his car. I did what I was trained to do. That's when Chief Robert Morrison stood up. He didn't wait to be recognized, didn't ask permission, just rose to his feet and started speaking. Your Honor, I think there's context here that needs to be considered. My son has been a police officer for 6 years. He's made over 400 arrests. He's taken guns and drugs off the streets. He's received 23 commendations. He represents the best of what the Providence Police Department has to offer. I let him finish. Then I said, Chief Morrison, I appreciate your son, has a good record, but that's not what we're discussing. We're here about November 8th, and the evidence is clear. Chief Morrison's expression changed. The professional courtesy evaporated. What replaced it was harder, colder. Your Honor, I think you need to understand something. The Providence Police Department and the court system have a relationship. We work together every day. My officers bring cases to your courts. They testify. They enforce your judgments. This system only works if there's mutual respect. The courtroom went quiet. Everyone understood. The chief of police was threatening a judge, politely, professionally, but threatening nonetheless. I said, Chief Morrison, are you attempting to influence my decision in this case? He smiled, not friendly. I'm not attempting anything, Judge Vonda. I'm making sure you understand the bigger picture. My son is a good cop. If you rule against him, you're sending a message that officers can't do their jobs. That's going to have consequences for police-court relations, for public safety, for this community. I stood up. Chief Morrison, you are in contempt of court. You are attempting to intimidate this court. Sit down immediately or you will be removed from this courtroom. He didn't sit, he laughed. Removed by who? Your one bailiff? I have 6 officers here, my officers who take orders from me. You think they're going to arrest their chief? Officer Marcus Thompson, my senior bailiff, a former Marine with 20 years in the Corps, moved forward, hand on his service weapon. But the math was clear. 1 bailiff versus 7 law enforcement officers. I said, Chief Morrison, this is your last warning. Sit down now or you will be placed under arrest. Chief Morrison took a step forward, closer to my bench. Or what, Judge? What are you going to do? You're just a judge. You deal with cases that come across your bench. I run a department of 478 officers. I have the mayor's ear. The governor knows me by name. I have real power. What do you have? I have the law, I said. And that's the only power that matters in this courtroom. Officer Thompson placed Chief Morrison under arrest for contempt of court. Officer Thompson moved forward. So did my other 2 bailiffs, Officers Jennifer Park and David Rodriguez. And that's when Chief Robert Morrison made the decision that destroyed his life. His hand went to his hip, to his service weapon, a Glock 19 9mm pistol. He drew it in one smooth motion. The motion of someone who's done it thousands of times. But he didn't point it at Officer Thompson. He pointed it at me, directly at me, at my chest from about 15 feet away. A loaded weapon aimed at a sitting judge in a courtroom full of people. Subscribe to this channel right now because I need you to understand what happened next and why it changed everything. Time stopped. Everything went into slow motion. I could see the gun, the black metal, the barrel, his finger on the trigger guard, not on the trigger yet, but close. The other officers moved in. Sergeant Linda Chin, my courtroom security officer, stationed near the side door, drew her weapon. She had him in her sights. Within 2 seconds, she gave one command. Chief Morrison, drop the weapon. Drop it now. He didn't drop it. He kept it aimed at me. His eyes never left mine. Sergeant Chin fired once. The shot hit Morrison in the upper right chest. He went down. The gun skidded across the floor. The other officers moved in. Torres started first aid, applying pressure to the wound, calling for an ambulance. From the moment Chief Morrison drew his weapon to the moment Sergeant Chin shot him, exactly 45 seconds elapsed. The courtroom security cameras captured it all, with timestamps 45 seconds that felt like 45 hours. 45 seconds that ended a career and proved nobody is above the law. The ambulance arrived in under 3 minutes. Paramedics rushed in. Morrison was conscious, in pain, bleeding, but alive. The shot had hit him in the upper right chest, serious but not immediately fatal. They loaded him onto a stretcher and rushed him out. As they wheeled him past me, Morrison looked up, made eye contact, and mouthed the words, "I'll get you," a final threat. But empty, he was done. After the ambulance left, I called a 15-minute recess. I went to my chambers and finally let myself shake. Someone had pointed a loaded gun at me, had been about to pull the trigger. Sergeant Chin came to my door. She looked devastated. "Your Honor, I'm sorry I didn't want to shoot him, but he was going to kill you." I saw his finger on the trigger. I stood up. "Sergeant Chin, you have nothing to apologize for. You did everything right. You gave him multiple chances. You warned him. And when he posed an imminent lethal threat, you stopped him. You saved my life. You're a hero." After I composed myself, I returned to the courtroom. Media was already outside. Word had spread fast, but I had unfinished business. I called the case back to order. I entered a finding of liability against Officer Derek Morrison on all counts: excessive force, violation of civil rights, assault, and battery. I awarded James Patterson $3.2 million in damages. But more than that, I wanted to say something for the record. I said that James Patterson represented everything good about our community. A hardworking young man going to school, working a job, trying to build a better life. A young man who did nothing wrong, broke no laws, threatened no one. And I said that Officer Derek Morrison represented an abuse of power, using a badge not to protect, but to intimidate. And I said that Chief Robert Morrison represented the worst kind of corruption, a man who believed his position made him untouchable, who thought he could threaten his way out of accountability, who was willing to point a gun at a judge to protect his son from consequences. The aftermath was intense. Chief Morrison survived surgery, made a full physical recovery. He was charged with 14 federal felonies: assault on a judicial officer with a deadly weapon, attempted murder, witness intimidation, obstruction of justice. The list went on. His trial lasted 3 weeks. The courtroom video was played multiple times. 45 seconds of Morrison pointing a gun at a judge. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. Judge Patricia Morrison, the federal judge who handled the case, sentenced him to 25 years in federal prison. He's 56 years old. He'll be 81 before he's eligible for parole. His pension was revoked. His law enforcement certification permanently stripped. He lost everything. Officer Derek Morrison was fired, lost his pension, was criminally charged for the assault on James Patterson, and got 3 years in prison. Sergeant Linda Chin was promoted to lieutenant, then to captain. She's being considered for chief when the current interim chief retires. She became a national figure, featured on 60 Minutes, called to testify before Congress about police accountability. And James Patterson graduated from Rhode Island College with honors. He used part of his settlement money to start a nonprofit called Justice for All Providence. It helps victims of police brutality navigate the legal system, provides support, resources, hope. He's doing good work. Here's what I've learned in my 43 years on the bench. Justice isn't automatic. It doesn't just happen because we have laws and courts. Justice happens because people choose to make it happen. People like Sergeant Chan, who refuse to follow illegal orders, who choose law over loyalty, who risk everything to do what's right. People like Officer Thompson, who put their lives on the line to protect others. People like James Patterson, who refuse to let injustice go unanswered, who stand up even when it's scary. My father used to tell me that the courtroom is the last place where everyone is truly equal. In the rest of the world, money and power and connections can buy advantages. But in a courtroom, when you stand before justice, none of that matters. It's just you, the law, and the truth. I've spent my career trying to live up to that ideal. Cases like this remind me why it matters, why we can't make exceptions for people with badges or money or connections. Because the moment we start believing that some people deserve special treatment, we lose everything that makes justice meaningful. Chief Robert Morrison thought he was special. He thought his badge was a shield instead of a responsibility. He thought his connections would protect him. He thought he could threaten and intimidate his way out of consequences. He was wrong. His badge made him responsible, accountable, held to a higher standard. And when he violated that trust, the system responded exactly as it should. His own officers stood against him, chose justice over loyalty. That's what real police work looks like. That's what courage looks like. To anyone in law enforcement watching this, remember that your badge is a sacred trust. Your uniform represents something bigger than you. When you put it on, you're not just wearing cloth and metal. You're wearing the faith that society has placed in you. Use that power to protect, not intimidate, to serve, not threaten, to uphold the law, not place yourself above it. And when you see corruption, stand up against it like Sergeant Chan did, like those 6 officers did. Even when it's hard, even when it costs you. That's what real heroism looks like. Thank you for watching this story. If you believe in real justice, if you believe that courage and integrity still matter, then subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment about a time when you saw someone stand up for what's right, and watch the next video that's about to pop up, because I've got another story about justice that will restore your faith in humanity. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring, and thank you for believing that we can build a world where justice isn't just a word, but a reality for everyone.